EVM total. I mean, my
So if you don't mind, because there's so many people, just 1 line or 2 line questions.
My last comment, has Congress been beneficiary of EVM manipulation?
Girl in the 4th row.
Oppressed now, and there's no freedom of the media. But then this was also seen during the time of the emergency. So irrespective of the ruling party, do you think that we can do anything for this, and can the media have total freedom in what they want to say or speak?
Middle eyes, there are 2 people.
Yeah, I'll just get straight to the question. How do students deal with the dilemma to dissent when putting their careers at risk? Right now there are a lot of Christ students who face the same dilemma. So, how do you deal with it? You put at the risk of getting kicked out of college for saying things. And
from Christ University. Though this is not an Indian example, I think it applies to the whole nationalist debate. Here I am quoting the example of Julian Assange when he published the Afghan war logs. So his organization faced a lot of trash for that. And the whole debate started that should the Americans have access to knowledge, or should they care about what the consequences will be on their country and the world at large. So I wanted to know your opinion on what you feel about this.
Okay, we'll need to stop at this stage. We'll come back at this time. Okay.
Thanks, those are great questions. I'll try and keep the answers relatively brief so that we can actually have another round. First, to Mr. Khanna, the business about the God Rakshaks. As you know, the government claims now that they're no longer supporting these people. They have denounced them, and both the Prime Minister's statement and Mr. Jaitley in the Rajya Sabha yesterday were unequivocal that they wanted this to stop and that this was not legitimate. Obviously, common sense tells you that hitting, attacking, stripping, and let alone murdering, lynching an individual citizen is already against the law, whatever the reason may be. No individual, even in the defense of some transcendent principle, has a right to do that. After all, when Ajmal Kasab came to Bombay and killed God knows how many dozen people with his machine gun, he was caught, interrogated, tried. He wasn't just lynched. The whole point is, in a civilized society, one has to have these mechanisms, and therefore there was never any doubt in any intelligent person's mind that the God Rakshak activities were profoundly illegal. They have no legal right to do what they're doing and interfere with others. And now the government is saying that too, so it's becoming a little more difficult to attack the government on this issue, other than the fact that the atmosphere they have created has actually unleashed these forces, and until these recent statements this week, they appeared by their silence to be condoning this unforgivable behavior. That was the burden of our criticism. Ishan, on the advanced state of decay, that book was obviously a satirical novel, so I took on the privilege of the satirist to be able to try and point to larger truths in a humorous way while poking fun at things. So yes, when I said we are a highly developed country in terms of the history of the past, after all, we were like the US in the 1st century AD, right? We were the largest economy, the biggest. Bangalore airport alone will demonstrate that to you, because most of our airports, when you guys were not yet born, were truly an embarrassment. And today we have some of the finest, most leading airports in the world. So the evident decay of the past has been overcome in a number of areas. On your second question, look, this is not some sort of presidential system where individual popularity matters to a great extent. It's a parliamentary system. Parties put forward their leadership, and the party of the winning party decides its prime minister. That is the system we have. I'm not a fan of the parliamentary system. I've written a number of articles, essays, and so on, and made speeches explaining why I think our system is fundamentally flawed and not suited to the Indian national character. But no one is going to give us a presidential system overnight, and therefore, living with the system we have, your question becomes very frankly impossible to answer, because no one can run for prime minister. Only parties run for a parliamentary majority from which a prime minister emerges. And my party has a settled leadership. it's not up for discussion.
No, I told him that it's already been answered with applause, because I think people think it's a good idea.
That's very generous of you, but I'm afraid it's good ideas are not necessarily realistic ones. So we can move on. You asked about whether dissent is only valuable if it translates into votes and whether the Congress has manipulated EVMs. No, in fact, there's a misunderstanding about the Congress position. There is actually not one united position. Some congressmen, particularly after a particular episode in Madhya Pradesh when certain EVMs spewed out the wrong vote, they have raised a hue and cry about this. But equally, other congressmen, Mr. Veerappa Moily from your state is a very good example, openly said, absolutely disagreeing, saying we are the ones who introduced EVMs into this election system. We only did so because we believe that they are not indeed hackable, and we should stick by our principles rather than merely because we recently lost something, take a different view. So the Congress has more than one view on this issue. On the specific question of EVMs, in fact, as the Election Commission has demonstrated, since the EVMs are not internet enabled, they actually cannot be hacked. The chip is fused into the device. So you would essentially have to be able to change the fused chip or the elements, the software in the chip, in something like 250,000 machines to be able to influence a national election result. It doesn't really seem plausible. And that's why I personally tend not to be a big doubter of the EVMs. The purpose of a voter verified paper trail, however, is to promote trust. If a voter votes for, let's say, the BJP, and a slip of paper comes out of the machine showing his vote has been cast for Congress, then he has every reason to be worried. But if the piece of paper confirms his preference, then he knows that his vote has been properly cast, and that ultimately, that reassurance will strengthen faith in the system. And we think the voter verified paper trail is therefore not a bad thing. Emergency was a very different exercise in that there was actual, official, overt censorship. Literally in the first few weeks, government censors were seated in every newspaper office. They actually had to approve everything before it went to the press. In some cases, they spiked articles. In other cases, they asked for things to be rewritten. Papers were delayed. Some newspapers, especially in the initial days, even carried blank spaces rather than replace the articles they were forced to censor. As a minor footnote, even I had a short story spiked by a censor. I had a short story that was going to be published in a magazine the week after the emergency was declared, called The Political Murder. And the censors were so horrified by the very idea of a political murder that they banned the story. Years later, I published it in my collection, The $5 Smart. So in other words, censorship in the emergency was overt and direct. What we are seeing today is nothing as unsubtle as that. In fact, I'm quite sure that our rulers are far too smart to ever declare an emergency. What they're doing, however, is changing the stakes and the odds. They are intimidating some people, as I told you in the anecdote I mentioned. They are essentially threatening others with economic consequences. It's relatively easy if you're a determined government to promote conformism, or at least to define very narrow limits for dissent in such a way that you rise above it without actually having to resort to censorship. And that's what we're seeing. I don't know how many of you are science students here, but there's a famous experiment that you should know about. If you throw a frog into a pot of boiling water, it'll jump out, a live frog. It'll jump out immediately. You scald it, it'll jump out. That's essentially what the emergency experience is all about. If you put the frog in a pan of tepid water and gradually turn up the temperature, keep on turning it up, keep on turning it up, the frog keeps adjusting to the new temperature until finally it's too late and it's cooked alive. It actually is cooked alive without ever using its power to jump out of the pan. That ultimately is the great danger today. Something like a boiling water pan was what the emergency was. People jumped out, first opportunity they got, they rejected the government, freedom was re-established. But when the normal, the acceptable kept getting gently and subtly redefined, until we all start censoring ourselves, looking over our shoulders before we speak, whispering when we are saying something we think others shouldn't hear. When we start moving ourselves in that direction, gradually at the end of the day we will have lost our freedoms without anyone officially taking it away. That's why I urge you to dissent when you can. The gentleman in the third row spoke about the student's dilemma. This is exactly the same thing. Ultimately, each of us will have to make the decision as to what we can afford to risk. And I agree with you. There will be some students who will say that the price of my dissent in the particular environment in which I am functioning, whether it's my university, whether it's my state, whether it's the central government, whatever, the price to be paid is something I can't afford to pay. My parents are humble middle class. They work very hard to put me through college. They are looking forward to my being able to get a good degree, get a good job, support my family, whatever it may be. And I can't jeopardize that. That is a choice that no one has the right to sneer at you for making. Every individual will have to make their choices. But don't forget that history is full of people who made the opposite choice and who said that the principle involved is so great that I'm prepared to risk sacrificing certain things in order to stand up for the principle. And history is full of that. Mahatma Gandhi, in some ways was already a Mahatma when he came back and stood up against the British. But say a young lawyer like Jawaharlal Nehru, with his British degree and his qualifications, his skills, he could have had a very successful, prosperous career, right? Instead, he joined the nationalist movement, even though it meant going to jail, even though it meant he wasn't getting briefs as a lawyer in Allahabad. And what is more, he persuaded his extremely successful and prosperous and seemingly elitist father to join him. One of the more moving things I came across was Motilal Nehru practicing sleeping on the floor so that he could join his son in jail. And this is a man who's used to all the luxuries of life. He practiced sleeping on the floor in his own room so he could join his son in jail and suffer the same privations that his son was undergoing. This kind of thing, the knowledge that there is a price to be paid, but the price is worth paying, that is ultimately a choice only an individual can make. Look, let's face it, during the emergency, there were many students, not from my party, but of the opposition, who went to jail. And at the time they went to jail, their parents may have thought exactly this. My son's career is finished, or life is wasted, he's never going to get a good job, a good future, etc., etc. But in fact, the students who went to jail then have gone on to have glittering careers, have gone on to have great reputations in the freedom that followed the emergency. Whereas the ones who caved in and made the compromises, there was an ABVP leader who was president of the Delhi University Students' Union. And the moment he was arrested, he quickly recanted, sang a different tune, and pledged to support the government of the day. That was his choice. But the glittering political career that had been foreseen for him disappeared overnight. So each choice you make, you live with the consequences. And ultimately, I'm not proud of all the choices I've made, but I live with the consequences and you will have to as well. But your law is the law, and I have broken it. I admit I've broken the law. And you must punish me. Because you're the judge and your duty is to uphold this law. You must punish me. Give me the severest punishment you can under the law, and I will accept it because I have deliberately and consciously broken your law. That's what Assange has done. He has to take you cannot, it seems to me, willfully break the law and not be prepared to accept the consequences. That's the difference between an Assange and a Gandhi. Again, these differences people have to understand. So, short answer is, on this issue, I don't expect to have any sympathy for an Indian version of Julian Assange tomorrow, unless the items leaked are of such a nature that they should have been public knowledge in a democracy anyway. I would definitely exclude a number of important national security issues, but if what he leaks is tomorrow some corrupt deal or money influencing a military purchase or some sort of irregularity that's revealed through internal documents, that's a different kind of dissent, and I would be prepared to support and argue in his favor. But I will not take away from the government the rights to decide, for the most part, in a reasonable way, what the country needs in the interests of its security and its defense. That affects the well-being of all of us.
Okay, Dr. Tharoor. People just be minded if you say, see. I'm saying there are so many opportunities for dissent now. The thing is there informed dissent? Isn't it the responsibility of, say, Parliament powerful sections of society and media, people who know to put out relevant information in public domain so that dissent, many modes of dissent and access is there, but it's not informed. That's it. I'm so sorry. That's the last question.
Okay, well, the answer is you're absolutely correct, Prakash. You do need to be informed, and I think partly it's incumbent on each of us to actually develop the discernment and the judgment so that we actually follow the right information. As we know, not everything on the internet is actually accurate. This country is full of politicians who very frankly lie, or who have a, shall we put it, a fantasy relationship with the truth. Now, if you don't have the discernment to read, to follow various things, to check previous sources and that to reliable sources, then your information will be inadequate. And what I want to urge each of you to do, because you're educated students, is to multiply your sources of information and develop through practice the ability to judge when information is relevant, is accurate, is realistic, and is something that can be relied upon. There's an awful lot of lies going on. I have the great misfortune of being on WhatsApp. I get lots and lots of messages every day. And some of the most bizarrely gut-curdling theories, making up complete lies out of whole cloth about some of our heroes of the past. And I know there are people who believe them. At least the very people who forward them to me believe them. And I think, my God, anyone with a basic education should know this is not true. But that's not the case. Not only should you be informed, you should also develop a sense of discernment in judging what information to trust. But yes, dissent is valuable. Informed dissent is absolutely indispensable. Thank you all and good luck in the future. Jai.